So you're wondering what PlayStation 1 you should get.
I really am wondering what PlayStation to get.
So today what we're going to be going over is the three main different PlayStation 1 consoles that you'll be looking at getting and how much you can expect to spend on each one of them.
So these are the ones we'd see in the wild.
Yeah, exactly. And to start us off, we're going to start with the PSX 1000, PlayStation 1 1000.
What's that stuff on the back?
Yeah. So this is the only way you can, well, there's two ways to tell what console it is, and the easiest way to tell on this one is it's going to have the red, white, and yellow right in the back of it. This was the very first generation. Yeah, right? Very first generation. It was the only one that had that on it. And also, if you look at the back, it's going to show you what model it is. SCPH
like
1000.
On the bottom here.
And this guy, I'd only really recommend to someone that is really wanting to get into collecting. They changed where the laser is in it because of overheating issues.
Like inside?
Yeah, that's right. Inside.
Okay.
Let's open both up. And you can see right there that the lasers are in different locations.
And that caused overheating problems?
Yes. Oh. So really, this is a better one for collectors. Some of the purists say that it gets better audio because of the red, white, and the yellow being in the back, but there's no real proof behind that. And honestly, even getting into one of these that's working, you're going to be looking at spending anywhere between $100 and $150.
For that one?
For this one.
Because it's like a collector's item?
Pretty much. You're paying for the collectability of this one now.
Well, I didn't know that had that on there. So I'm going to stick with this guy here, and this is probably what you're going to see more of. It basically just has your basic, what became standard on a lot of PlayStations. Like, this is everything after that model looks like this. We'll put some pictures up on the screen. But it just has a multi-out, and then it has an RCA on the other side. So you don't need like a male-to-male like outlet like that. So, and it has a really basic power plug. And like we already just showed you, the laser is in a different spot. So it's going to cut down on those overheating issues, you know, unless you left it on for like a week or something. These things were pretty robust though. I actually had friends who left these things on for weeks at a time. But and like you said, this is probably going to be cheaper.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's a lot more different editions, models of this one. But for the most part, any of them other than that first gen is going to be probably $40 to $50 setup.
That's with and that's generally with like one controller.
Yeah, controller, memory card, and your cords.
That's like, and they do the same thing. Like there are probably differences on a technical level, like you pointed out, but go with this guy. If you want one, the big gray brick, go with this guy. And
that kind of leads us to the last one, and this is what they call the PS1. It's the mini edition, essentially.
Before the actual mini one, like the hard pack one.
That's right, yeah. The pre-mini. Yeah. And this guy, it's good. I mean, they usually have issues as they get older with the disc tray holding shut, but that's kind of an issue across all PlayStation 1s.
This one does that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't want to, see, there you go. The button's stuck.
So that's just going to be an issue you're going to find with all of them. You can clean that out, but the big one for this guy to note is that the power supply. You do not want to buy one of these consoles without power supply. The other two, it's just a fairly generic power cord. This one has an independent power supply, and if you don't have it, that's going to cost you $30 or $40 just to get the power supply.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a Sega Genesis. It looks completely different on the back.
And though the power supply is really a bit more expensive on this, you should be able to get this in a complete package with controller, memory card, and the power supply for somewhere between like $50 to $75.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
I would have expected this one to be the most expensive because I only knew one person who had one growing up. Mm-hmm. And it came with, theirs had like a little screen.
Yeah, that's right.
The little PlayStation 1 portable. So yeah, other than that, that's what you're going to find when you're out there, right? So I guess the question is, what's on everybody's mind? Where do I get them? Yeah,
so when you're buying these, the 1000, I would just go to eBay. Or a collector that you know, or a store that sells secondhand. That's going to be your easiest way to get one that you know is working. But if you want the other two, Facebook Marketplace is the way to go. You could buy the other brick if you want at a thrift store, but I would highly recommend not buying the mini at a thrift store because chances are you're not going to get the power supply with it. So
that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
So, well, and we already talked about the prices, so I guess the next logical step for you guys is to buy some games for your PlayStation. So we're going to link you to some game or one of our game videos, and Donovan's going to tell you some more stuff about liking and subscribing.
Do it.
Is he?
You should do
We're
it.
going to find out. We'll see you next time.